Go ahead and play this clip. Do you have a problem with that, Chris?
That's it?
Of course not.
Vinny, do you have a problem with that?
I mean, I've never pulled out a chair for another man in my life.
Adam, do you have a problem with that?
So you have shitty manners?
Can I see
For
the
a
rest
man?
Of the,
Yeah.
For
can
a
I see the
man?
rest of the video?
He's a guest in your house.
That's all that they had.
That's all it
posted.
was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so he just pulled the chair. So he was just being
Tom,
hospitable?
do you have a problem with that?
No, and I've seen this now 2 times from 2 angles, and I'm like, it seemed like
Angles?
a split second.
Couple
he was just being nice, you know.
Have you had your chair
I mean,
pulled
if
out
he
for you?
started wiping his
That's all
face
different
and
thing.
like massaging him, I'd have an issue.
I have a huge problem
Out a chair?
with people who...
Then you have a problem with me. Look, this is just a circus of political theater. Vinny is the lone voice of sanity amidst this chorus of shallow panelists, while everyone else fusses over a chair pull ritual and act Trump executed with all the pomp of a bygone era. The real story is being conveniently swept under the rug. Vinny, however, cuts through the pretense and reminds us that this isn't about outdated manners or trivial gestures. Forget the mainstream narrative that dotes Netanyahu's superficial charm. Here's the truth. Netanyahu allegedly carried an ICC warrant for his crimes in Gaza should be held accountable, not walking freely around DC. In this spectacle of misplaced priority, Vinny stands firm, explaining the farce while the other panelists blend by their own narratives. Let's jump into it.
have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Don't act like you've never pulled it. You pulled out the chair for Cuomo today. Hey, sit here.
Guys, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying I've never seen a guy pull a chair out for a guy. That's all I said. I don't have a problem with it. It just, I've never seen it before.
You did it for
Sorry.
Cuomo today.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
you
moved
did.
it out of the way.
Yeah, you did. Nah.
Yeah, you moved
pulled
it
out.
for Cuomo today.
You pulled it
And
out.
then he goes, why do I
Guys,
got the black
put the
chair?
Pulled it
clip,
out.
let it go
I
viral.
think he
That's
did.
it.
You pulled it out, Tiny
But, no,
Jesus.
but can I tell you something about that? Can I tell you something
Push
about
your
the
stool in for you.
the pulling chair situation? For example, you know, for me, Vinny, Vinny always gets me gifts. If there's a competition on who's gotten who more gifts, Vinny's gotten me more.
There's
gifts.
one in my car right now.
No, but you, like, for example, when I went on Joe, I brought those gifts. I
Yes.
gave him the Andrew Jackson, all this stuff. I
Oh,
gave him
you're
the
shocked.
what was
Lenny
the other
Bruce
thing?
microphone.
Lenny Bruce microphone. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my
A
God,
Hendrix pen.
But when I had Mark Cuban on the first time, I gave him a first print, first edition of Atlas Shrugged that he didn't have. He's like, "You're kidding me?" I said. He said, "Oh, I have this book all over the place."
Not this one.
I said, "It's first print, first edition." Rob, can you pull up the Cuban thing? And he's kind of like, "This is a first print, first edition." I said, "Yeah." Wow, I don't have this, right? You know, whether it's Kobe, you know, Kobe's reaction after the interview, the late Kobe, whether it's President Bush when we had on, whether it's, it doesn't, you know, sometimes people don't want gifts. Like DeSantis wasn't happy about my
He
gift. I
hated those.
well,
but
he's
no,
got
not-
that restriction.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. No, but the point being, you know, you have that. There's mannerisms for somebody older than you, or somebody that's in a more, what do you call it? Like in not an elderly, somebody that they are.
Veterans, respect.
Yeah. So that's the only thing about it, which was kind of go to all the way to the end, all the way to the end. It's like in a yeah, right there where you see even the spikes. Go up when you see the view spike right there. That's probably where it's at. Go up right there. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. That interview's in 20, right there.
Pat,
Let
you
it
ever
play.
gonna go, oh, look at that.
Don't you love that orange
That hair.
sweater?
I mean, you were probably honoring Trump with that shirt.
1957. I found it from Beverly Hills.
Not that he can't afford it.
I had a hard time finding it.
Original.
So,
It just slams it.
No, but you're showing respect.
That's
You're
not
showing
hard.
affection.
So that's the part. But the reason for that is because he gave me his time.
Right.
Yeah.
I asked for his time. He gave me his time. That's the only thing. I don't know who asked who to come. So maybe it's, I ask you to come visit me. You came to my house. Let me serve you. If I come to you, you serve me. If that's the dynamic.
It's hospitality.
then
Look, people
that's
are
the
making
part.
the
Yeah.
point that he is subservient to Israel. That's what they're trying to do. That's what, and look, again, you can feel that way. We have never had an American president, and Bibi admitted it on the stage, that he feels more
Multiple
supported by
times.
Trump
Yeah.
than ever before.
That's right.
Can you dislike that?
By the
of
way,
course.
let me tell you what I absolutely love about what Trump did. Oh, my, I can't even tell you guys. When I watch this, I'm like, listen, when you're the greatest country in the world, and when you have a lot of money, directly and indirectly, most people around you feel you, like they can take something from you. What can I get from this guy, right? That are not in the inner circle, not the inner circle. Inner circle is a very different story. Inner circle is your, you know, but everybody else kind of like, let me see what I can get from here. Let me see what I can get from there, from other countries. Israel is not U.S. You know, EU is not U.S. Any of these countries are not U.S. relationship. Hey, Colombia did this. Panama, yeah, we're not going to be doing this, the relationship with China, blah, 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 blah. Of course, you need the U.S. business, and now you're allowing our naval ships to go through, which is saving us millions of dollars of fuel per year. That's what you're supposed to do, right? When he's giving this message and he throws this curveball, Bibi doesn't know what to do.
Nothing.
You can tell he had no clue
idea
about
No
this.
idea.
Rob, is this the clip?
So there's two clips. I don't have the isolated. This is the isolated version of Bibi's reaction. But do you want Trump making the announcement and then we play Bibi's?
Is this with the announcement?
You can hear it very lowly in the background.
Okay, does the other one have what Trump says?
Yes.
Okay, play the other one. Watch this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it. And be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Yep.
So now go play the clip with his reaction. Watch this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and
Okay,
get rid
that's
of the
you're not
destroyed
comfortable.
buildings, level it out, create an
Is this the
economic
same guy that pulled out my
development
chair?
that will supply unlimited
He pulled it out
numbers of
from
jobs
under him.
and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something
Look at
different.
that.
Just can't
He's
go back.
looking
If you go
because
back,
he does not
it's
know he's going to be saying
end up
that.
the same way it has for
No, of
100
course.
years.
I don't think anybody knew Trump was going to be saying that. It wasn't what was written for him. He had just said the language where he's like, yeah, everybody's going to have to be part of this thing and doing it. And then he says it. I'm supposed to have his hostage envoy, who's his Middle East envoy, come on my show right after this. I get a call. Really sorry. I got to go into an emergency meeting. I got to go. I got to go in. I can't talk to you right now. I have nothing to say about this. This is what Trump does, okay? Now, what I don't like about it is, and I got killed for this last night, and that's okay. Anybody who heard this, and certainly anybody in my business, knows that Trump was going off the cuff and saying something that was never going to be official U.S. policy. But everybody played it to advantage. On Fox, they started saying what a good idea this is. Yeah. And then on MSNBC, you got Joy Reid, who's an outrage. This is ethnic cleansing. Both of these entities knew that Trump was just riffing, right? Yeah. But it works for their agendas. And that's the problem with our whole dialogue. God forbid you say anything that shakes it up and makes something happen and you get attacked from both sides. I don't see Trump as the problem on this one. Yes, he said something that nobody wants. Levitt came out right away and said, no boots on the ground and we're not paying for it. Well, that's not what he suggested. Yeah, I know. But that's the difference between official statement and when he's just pushing the envelope and riffing.
And I think everybody jumped on. I agree with you on a couple very key points there. And one of the things that people jumped on, he said, we're going to own Gaza. That's not what he said. Listen to what he said in full context. We're doing a very good job there. We're going to do a good job and we'll own it. What he's talking about is when somebody says, you know what? I'm going to clean up that mess. I'm going to own it. I'll take care of it. It doesn't mean that you're taking possession and like physical, legal, tacit ownership of it. That's not what he was saying. He was in the middle of a riff, but even in the middle of the riff, saying we're going to own it didn't mean that we're going to make it like Puerto Rico or Guam or a 51st state. No, that's not what he said, but it was a riff, and everybody jumped on those angles.
I like that.
But guess what?
That.
You know what? It's because they have no other news and they have no other position.
I have one thing that I love about this. Adam, I'll give my thoughts.
Yeah, well, is this idea completely out there? Is it outrageous? Is it completely preposterous? Yes, but is it the best idea I've heard so far? Straight up, yes, it is. Because you know how Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others that have been tried? Show me an idea that has been proposed that is actually possible. Show me an idea. Because all the ideas that I've heard are the river to the sea chant. I've heard the global intifada chant. I've heard the two-state solution that has basically been hinging on nothingness since for the last 75 years and has not happened.
Where the second
whatsoever.
state gets a headquarters in Jerusalem.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
So
point.
what viable solutions have ever been proposed? Nothing. So what they basically said, what he didn't show here, was Gaza could and should be a Middle East paradise. I believe he called it the Riviera of the Middle East. It could be what Singapore is in Asia. It could be what Dubai is. It could be what literal Tel Aviv is. If you've ever been to Tel Aviv, it is literal paradise. It's like if New York met Miami on the beach. It's incredible. Gaza could be that. But instead, Hamas and the Palestinians have squandered billions and billions and billions of dollars by building down instead of building up. Their tunnel infrastructure is bigger than the New York tunnel system. Are you kidding me? So they've taken billions of dollars that have been given to them, and they built basically a terror network. So, and it's the same vicious cycle. They start a war, they lose a war, they cry foul, they sacrifice their martyrs, and they get they wait a few years, and then they do it all over again. And then the last point is this: the Jordanians don't want them, the Egyptians don't want them. They forget that Egypt has a border right next to them. They're not taking them in. The Lebanese don't want them. The Syrians
they
don't want
have
them.
millions and millions of Palestinians already. So do Israelis. That's right. There have been problems with the population.
People don't forget
Vinny.
that there's 2 million Palestinian Arabs that live in Israel. Say that again. What do you mean they live in Israel? Yeah, they're Israeli citizens. Every single country in the Middle East has basically kicked out all the Jews, and they've moved to Israel. But Israel has absorbed 2 million Arabs. So why don't the other Arab countries take in the Palestinians? Unfortunately, is because no one wants them.
Vinny.
It's a no-win. Listen, no-win situation, plain and simple. The only problem is the non-jihad terrorists, just the regular Palestinians that had to leave because Gaza was going to be leveled, and we knew it was coming. What are they going to come back to? Are they going to be able to come back to their home? Meaning, hold on, there's no more Hamas. Everybody's gone. The leadership has changed. Do I get to come back to my house that was leveled? I lost my son. I lost my daughter. Me and my wife are still here. Can I come back? If they're going to rebuild and make a high-rise Trump Tower, can we get an apartment in there? Because my home was here. That's the only problem that I'm saying is, and I get it. People are like, they won't take them and they won't take them. Wait a minute. That's their home. They shouldn't have, nobody should have to take them. They should be able to come back home. And I think if you're going to rebuild and make it nice, I should be able to come back and live where I was.
As we sign off on this wild ride of political banter, let's not get too caught up in the minutiae of a pulled chair. Adam would have you believe that little gesture is the apex of etiquette. The real issue here is gravier. Adam's skewed take on Israel is his misguided vision of how Gazans should embrace Trump's latest deal. Are not only oversimplifications, they're downright laughable. While Adam clings to outdated notions of decorum and twists every nuance into a shallow political talking point, Vinny stands apart as the voice of reason. Vinny exposes the absurdity of celebrating trivial gestures while ignoring the heavy-handed reality of geopolitical missteps, like ignoring the fact Netanyahu allegedly carries an ICC warrant. Shouldn't be partying around DC with immunity. Vinny calls his remarks cuts to the noise, urging us to see that Trump's riff on owning Gaza isn't about a show of manners, but about envisioning a transformative, if controversial, realignment in the region. In a circus where Adam's double standards and biased narratives steal the spotlight, Vinny's clear-eyed perspective reminds us that substance always trumps style. Let's tip our hats up to Vinny for keeping it real and challenging the shallow takes that too often pass as insightful commentary. Please like, share, and hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.